Oh yeah, is it Thursday already? We might have some bad news today, ladies and gentlemen, as the Skeleton Crew is getting some bad updates, to say the least. And Star Wars Outlaws, which comes out in just over a month, got a new trailer that fans are not really enjoying too much. We're going to talk about all of it. We're going to break this all down, whether this is the truth or not. And we have new set leaks from the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So we got a lot to get into today in just the short amount of time that we have together. So let's dive into all of it. How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike. I feel like I don't usually say that I'm Mike at the beginning of these streams, but I feel like I should, because maybe somebody's new in the chat and doesn't know that my name is Mike. So now you know. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? Let's open up the chat and say hi to everybody. Mr. Revenge, what is up? Brandon Baker in the house. B-Man, how we doing? Jack Robbins, what is up? Navarro, how we doing? Navarro, we got some news about you today. Brady, how we doing? Galaxy Love, what is up? Fearless in the house. Mando United, how we doing? Chris Thomas, John Frag, Darth Raccoon. Did I catch everybody? Soul, what is up? King Shadow, Marvel Today, what's up? If I missed any of you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. First of all, let's preface with this. I understand this is a Star Wars stream. I understand that. However, I still need to mention this. Deadpool and Wolverine comes out this weekend. It actually came out today. If you've seen it, please, no spoilers in the chat. I'm going to see it tomorrow, and even still, no spoilers after that. We're going to go no spoilers until at least, like, the end of the weekend, I would say. Just don't ruin the movie for somebody else. If you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine, fantastic. I hope it was good. I will watch it tomorrow myself. But just you know the deal. No spoilers. Don't be that guy or that girl. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. We'll leave it at that. Now, moving on to Star Wars news, let's talk some Skeleton Crew. I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the Skeleton Crew show? Because I'm being completely honest, there's not that much hype around this show at all. We know very little. And like I said on Tuesday, we really don't know much in the slightest when it comes to this show. We don't know what this or how this is going to tie into the rest of the Mandoverse stories, but we know that it does connect in some sort of way. And interestingly enough, I'm going to put up a poll when it comes to this, but right off the bat, Navarro says 10 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 8.5, 4 out of 10, 9, 7, 8, 9, 9. Never below a 10. Okay. 2. Okay. So it seems like we're all over the place. I got some high scores like 10s and 9s, but we also have 4s and 2s and 3s. So it seems like we're all over the place. Low key dropped to 5 or 6 because of the news, but I'm still optimistic. Okay. Okay. But it seems like a lot of us are still kind of not like beyond excited for this show. And that makes sense. Let's be honest, that makes sense. We don't know anything about this show, and until we get a trailer, we're really not going to know anything, except for that it focuses on 4 kids. They're going on this adventure, doing something in the galaxy. We don't know what, we don't know who, we don't know why, but Jude Law is going to be involved in possibly being a Force user, maybe a former Jedi. But I mean, that's it. We don't know the plot of this show. We don't know anything else about this show. So just sort of the unknown is what stops us from getting too excited. And now news is coming out that makes me less excited. And let's talk about that. So this is first of all coming from Bespin Bulletin on the Twitter, X formerly known as Twitter. And let's talk about this, shall we? So wait, hang on. Okay, got it. This is coming from Bespin Bulletin. They said Skeleton Crew, according to John Rocha, that's who this is, isn't being received very well at Lucasfilm. Interesting. They go on to say, this echoes similar statements made by both myself and Making Star Wars, and we've been saying / hearing similar things for a long time, certainly since last year. Just keep expectations in check. So let's talk about this for a second. Skeleton Crew was supposed to come out last November. Before the writer and actor strikes that happened last summer, this skeleton crew was supposed to come out in November of 2023. So we would have already seen this show by now. We would have already made up our minds about whether it was good or not, and whether or not we want to see more of these characters. However, that's not the case. November came and gone, and we didn't see it. We didn't see the Skeleton Crew show. It got postponed by over a year. A year. Now, maybe that was because of these issues that were happening behind the scenes. Maybe this was because they wanted to reshoot some things and fix it up to make it really, really good. And that would be great. I don't care when we get these shows. If a show is terrible and you need to rework it, go do it. Take your time. Make it great. So hopefully that's what they did with the Skeleton Crew show. However, this is still the case today. This report is coming from today. Nope, sorry, yesterday, but under 24 hours ago, where they're saying that still it's not being received very well behind the scenes at Lucasfilm. Now let's talk about this for a second, because talk about don't really believe all you hear online. Let's go to the source himself, John Rocha, shall we? Because he retweeted this tweet from Bespin and kind of debunked a little bit of it, but still not reassuring us at all. As he says this, wait. What I said was that the people behind the scenes at Lucasfilm were concerned about Skeleton Crew. I clarified this on Kristen's show on Monday. Lordy, these aggregators running with half-truths and sticking to it. Don't believe stuff like this, guys. So again, on the internet, it's very hard to deem what is true and what is false. That's why you really got to dive into where it came from, the source, and all that. And this is the source, coming from John Rocha himself, and he said, no, it's not that it's not being received well from Lucasfilm and all this other stuff. There's concern behind the scenes about Skeleton Crew. Now, concern could mean many different things. Yes, they're concerned about the product itself, or they're concerned about how audiences will react when they see the show. There's a big difference there, because being concerned about the actual product, being concerned that this show's not that good, that's a big problem. Being concerned about how audiences will react is a completely different thing, because we know with the Star Wars fandom, after just coming off of the backs of The Acolyte, that the Star Wars fandom takes things and runs with them. They take the fact that they really, really did not like The Acolyte before it even came out, and they ran with that. And that happens a lot with these Star Wars projects. It's a very divisive Star Wars fandom that we live in here. So it doesn't seem as bad as we once thought. That's why the title of this stream is Bad News ? Because we're questioning whether or not this is bad news or not. But John Rocha himself says, wait a second. He heard that people behind the scenes at Lucasfilm are just concerned about the Skeleton Crew. It's not being well received by Lucasfilm, which is a completely different thing. There's a concern behind the scenes. That's the gist. So still, nothing from Skeleton Crew. If I were to guess, I would guess that we'd be getting a trailer within the next 2 weeks, as in 2 weeks, D23 happens. August 9th, 10th, and 11th in 2 weeks. We are getting D23, which is where Disney kind of has their own Comic-Con type thing, where they get announcements from Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, animation, the gist. All the companies that they own, they have announcements for new projects. So we're going to be seeing a lot of announcements for Star Wars. Hopefully a new animated show, maybe possibly Clone Rebellion show, maybe whatever. Maybe Tales of the Jedi Season 2, maybe an Andor Season 2 update, Ahsoka Season 2 update. But the biggest thing will be a Skeleton Crew trailer. Because we need one. We need one desperately for all the fans who don't really know what this show is going to be about, and they need something to latch onto. Even if this show doesn't come out for another August, September, October, November. Let's say it comes out in November. That's still another 4 months. So even if it doesn't come out for another 4 months, you need something to get the fans excited for what's to come, because they don't know anything. We don't know anything about the Skeleton Crew show, and we need something. And that's what I think is going to happen at D23. This weekend, actually, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, is San Diego Comic-Con. I would not expect that many updates or announcements, I should say, from Star Wars. Marvel, on the other hand, you might see some pretty big panel, Hall H, I believe it's called. You'll probably be seeing a lot of updates from Marvel as they are kind of in a disarray. But for Star Wars, I think they're going to probably focus more on the comic side of things, and you're not going to get much announcements about TV shows or movies or anything like that, as far as I'm aware. Maybe they could surprise us, but as far as I'm aware, I think they're saving all that for D23 in 2 short weeks. So yeah, we'll get to the Star Wars Outlaws stuff, we'll get to the Mandalorian and Grogu stuff, but first, let's just talk about Skeleton Crew. Shall we? This doesn't make me all that confident in this Skeleton Crew show. And with the little knowledge that we even have about it, I don't know whether to be excited or nervous about this Skeleton Crew show, just because of how in the dark we are as the fans. We don't know anything about this show. And it's strange, because there was a trailer that was ready that was shown to the fans at Star Wars Celebration last year. Last year's Star Wars Celebration 2023 in London was over 14, 15, 16 months ago. Almost a year and a half. And we haven't seen that trailer publicly yet. It's very, very strange. There's something weird going on behind the scenes when it comes to the Skeleton Crew show, and I don't know what it is. I don't. But let's speculate. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about it. Oh my God. I got a Bluetooth mouse right here for my computer. It just said it's at 4%. Let's see if it survives the stream. Let's find out. Shall we? So with that news being said now, has your excitement level changed for the Skeleton Crew show? With the concerns happening behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, what do we think? What do we think? And We Know says, didn't the same thing happen with Rogue One? Yes. That's a good point. This has happened in the past with Marvel projects and Star Wars projects like Rogue One, where there has been concern and pushback and delays and last-minute changes. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Honestly, Kevin Feige and Marvel made a living off of that. They were working on these movies, every single movie. From Iron Man 1 all the way up to Endgame, they were working on those movies until they released, pretty much. They were kind of doing last-minute things here and there all the time. That's how they worked, and they worked well doing that. The Star Wars example is Rogue One. Rogue One maybe was a decent movie until Tony Gilroy stepped in. And I'm not saying it wasn't a good movie beforehand, but it wasn't going to be what it turned out to be. Until Tony Gilroy stepped in, smoothed everything over, and we got the movie that is one of the greatest Star Wars movies of all time, and that is Rogue One. So sometimes it works out, where you're rushing last minute and you're like, we got to fix this, we got to fix that. There's a lot of concern with the executives. We got to do this, we got to do everything. And it works. And hopefully, I'm really hoping, the Skeleton Crew. What the heck? How are you typing so fast? Or are you just typing the same thing? What is going on right now? Oh, are you just copying and pasting things? Stu John just typed like astronomically fast in the chat, and it just threw me off my whole rhythm. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. Completely lost my train of thought. Let me regroup for a second. Hopefully Skeleton Crew is that Rogue One type of disaster. Disaster being the very, that was so fat. Like, that just completely threw me off. Copy and paste. It must have been copy and paste. There's no way. There's no way. You wrote it and copy and pasted. Okay. No worries. It just really threw me off my whole rhythm. And you know what? I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
This is where the fun begins.
Where was I? Okay. Navarro says, it's Star Wars. I'm always hyped. Yeah, I mean, I'm always excited for new Star Wars projects. My problem with Skeleton Crew specifically is the little that we know and the pushback. Having it be delayed by over a year, or at least a year, is a concern. For me, at least, it's a concern. So I need something to reassure me that this is going okay, that this is going great. And I think a trailer, hopefully in 2 weeks, would do that. It would get me excited. It would assure me that this Skeleton Crew show has something going for it. I do think it'll be more of like a fun action adventure. I'm hoping it's going to be along the lines of Mando Season 1. Mando Season 1's not like dark. It's a feel-good, fun sort of father-son type, like Grogu's introduced. He's a fun little baby type deal. And then at the end, it gets a little bit dark when Moff Gideon shows up and Pedro Pascal or Din Djarin almost dies and we get to see Pedro Pascal's face. It gets a little bit dark towards the end, but it's more of a feel-good Star Wars adventure. I think that's what Skeleton Crew is going to be for the most part. But again, we'll see about that. Yeah. But yes, answering your question, isn't that the same thing that happened with Rogue One? Yes. And we know says, I heard that Ahsoka will be appearing in it. I don't know. Here's the thing. Skeleton Crew could be working as two different things. Because when Dave Filoni's movie was announced, like I said on Tuesday, when Dave Filoni's movie was announced last year at Star Wars Celebration, it was announced to be a combination movie of The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, and Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew was involved in that sentence. So the Skeleton Crew cast and characters are going to play a role in Dave Filoni's movie at least, and probably Jon Favreau's as well. They'll play some sort of role in this possible Mando trilogy that we've been speculating about. So it could go one of two ways. It could take place in the Star Wars galaxy that we know and love, and then maybe these characters get involved with the New Republic or come to contact with Grand Admiral Thrawn or whatever. Or, in my personal favorite idea for this show, is it takes place in the Peridia universe. I don't know what to call it except for Peridia, because Peridia is the planet that we went to in Ahsoka. It takes place in the separate universe, away from the Star Wars universe that we know and love. And these characters get lost and come into contact with Jude Law's character, this, that, the other thing. But they're the reasons that Ahsoka and Sabine get back home. Now, the only problem with that theory is that Ahsoka Season 2 has to still happen. Ahsoka Season 2 is still going to happen at some point, and that has to take place somewhere in here. So I think Ahsoka and Sabine have a long story to be told still on Peridia with Shin Hati and Baylan Skoll and possibly Abeloth that will be told in Season 2. But I could see the Skeleton Crew being involved in that sort of way, being their ticket home as they're trapped now on Peridia. Yeah. Robert says, for Skeleton Crew, I recall back during the strike, people were saying that the show was being banked and stored for later. So they have content to release so they don't have a huge gap due to the strikes. That could be the case. However, I get what you're saying. Because they didn't know how long the strikes were going to be, they wanted to bank a show so that they wouldn't have this massive gap in between shows. I understand that. I think that's not the case because of the concern behind the scenes. If this was like already done and they were like, okay, good, boom, Skeleton Crew's done, we're good, we can just put that to the side, we can maybe release it later, whatever we want, that's perfectly fine. But this talk of there being concerned, the talk of the executives at Lucasfilm having concerns about this show, lead me to believe that there was reshoots, probably earlier this year, reshoots for this Skeleton Crew show, and hopefully some stuff to kind of iron out the story, because it needs to be good. You're talking about comparing this show, Skeleton Crew, to shows like The Acolyte, Ahsoka, The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi. It has to have a story that's important. Ahsoka's story is extremely important. Ahsoka is a legacy character at this point. She's one of the most important characters in the Star Wars universe. Kenobi, I mean, it doesn't get more important than that. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. Even The Acolyte, it's not that important because it's 100 years before everything, but the story is still there. It's the Jedi, it's the Sith, it's the main story of Star Wars. Even The Mandalorian has characters like Luke Skywalker involved, a baby version of Yoda, ? Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano. So you have the connection to the greater Star Wars story. This Skeleton Crew show, as far as we're aware, has no connection to anything else. Now, yes, Din Djarin and Grogu could show up in the show. Ahsoka could show up in the show. Anybody really could show up in the show. But as far as we know, we don't know about a connection to the greater Star Wars story. And that's the concern. That's the concern. Indeed. Bro, imagine if Abeloth came in early in Skeleton Crew. Okay, well, then that would be a whole different story. If Abeloth came in Skeleton Crew, now you've piqued my interest. That's the greatest thing about these Star Wars trailers, is because we know nothing about this show, or very little about this show. When that trailer drops, it could be like the Acolyte trailer dropping. Do you guys remember? Cast your mind back to an ancient time known as April. Do you guys remember April of this year? No, it's actually March. Even further back. Cast your mind even further back to this fictional time period called March of this year, when the Acolyte trailer dropped. Do you remember that? Do you remember the red lightsabers swinging through the forest and being grabbed by a hand, and how it broke the internet? Because we were like, what the bleepity bleep is going on here? How is that even possible in this time period 100 years before the Phantom Menace? How? And it really got people excited for this show. I'm not saying the Skeleton Crew trailer is going to do the same thing, but it has the opportunity to do so. People could get really excited for this show because of the trailer, and we haven't seen that trailer yet. Yeah. They're searching for a one-eyed space Willy. Oh my. Jedi Hangout says, one of my clients has a role in Skeleton Crew. Whoa. And she won't even tell me what is happening with the show. LOL. Well, maybe you should ask her again. Maybe we should get her on the show. Call her up right now. We'll get answers immediately. Yeah. Okay. B-Man says, you should make a Marvel YouTube channel, a guy who loves Marvel. B-Man, you know what's really funny about that? You're not the first person to say that. That already exists. Yep. I'll leave it at that. Mr. Revenge says, probably bringing Ron Howard on to fix it. No, I don't think so. Here's the thing. Skeleton Crew is being created by John Watts, but the executive producers are Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. And if we trust anybody with Star Wars content right now, it's Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. The two are so good at what you call Star Wars. So Skeleton Crew, although I'm a little bit concerned, I still have faith because of those two names attached to it. Whenever Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau's names are attached to a Star Wars project, I have a lot of faith that this show is going to be good. And I'm hoping for the best with this one. Yeah. Chris says, does anyone remember the good old days when a movie or a TV show premiered and we saw it for the first time before judging it and whether or not it was good or not? Yeah, those were the good old days. You're talking about no trailers before either? I don't know about that. I like getting hyped up by trailers and all this other stuff. Yeah. They pushed back Skeleton Crew's date. No. Well, yes, they did from last year to this year, but currently it doesn't have a release date. Now, obviously, the release date is probably going to come with the trailer that we're going to be getting in most likely 2 weeks. And I would guess that release date is going to be in early November because they said the holiday season, and that would make the most sense. So I'd say a probably November release date. But again, that's not a specific release date. We don't know for a fact that it will release in November. So we talked about it being delayed from last year to this year. Technically, it wasn't delayed at all because it never had a specific release date. But it was delayed. It was delayed. Yeah. My client says the delays for the Skeleton Crew were due to the strikes. She was even called in for reshoots after the strikes. Well, there you go. I don't know whether or not to believe you that your client actually did work on Skeleton Crew, but I have no reason not to, I guess. But I do think that there were reshoots after the strikes to fix this show because there's clearly some problems going on behind the scenes. Absolutely. Chris says, so if Lucasfilm doesn't like it, the fans will love it. Okay. Since Lucas seems to like the shows that the fans seem to dislike. Maybe. I get what you're getting at there, but maybe. They could be concerned with post-production problems. So many different reasons to be concerned about creating a show. It's true. The fact that he said that they're concerned about Skeleton Crew doesn't mean that the show is in shambles and everything's on fire and the world is ending and Skeleton Crew is going to be the worst show ever. That's not at all what this means. Concern can mean many different things. Hopefully, the smallest of things is what we're hoping for. Fearless says, to be honest, I'm not worried. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it is good. Well, I'm glad you're there. I don't think I'm there yet. A trailer would really ease my mind right about now, but I'm glad that you're there. Yeah. Stu John says, I'm not a Disney hater, but there is zero chance that this new series will carry Star Wars. I don't think it needs to carry Star Wars. I don't think any of these new shows need to carry Star Wars by any means. I think they need to establish new characters, a new story, and it has to be good enough to fit into the puzzle piece that is the Star Wars universe. I don't think any show needs to carry Star Wars. I think it's doing pretty well on its own. Yeah. John Groom says, honestly, this just made me think that it's really good. Really? Why? I mean, I can kind of see where you're coming from. They've taken their time with this show. They clearly want to make it good so that it's not a disaster. But they're still saying that there's concerns behind the scenes. Yeah, no? Chris says, concerned or not, I'm still going to be watching it, and I'll judge it and make my own opinions. Well, I hope we all will be doing that. But just for right now, I would like a trailer, please. A trailer, please. We're probably going to have to wait 2 weeks for this trailer, but a man can dream. A man can dream. J1 DRZ, what's up, Jay? I'm doing good. How are you?
Hello there.
Anthony says, hey, Mike, I can't stay long. I got to run and do some errands. Don't worry about it. But I'm nothing but positive about both Star Wars Outlaws and Skeleton Crew. A trailer for next animated show at D23. That fully depends on how far along they are with the next animated show. If Tales of the Jedi Season 2 is actually happening this year, which I kind of don't think it is, then we will probably be getting a trailer for it at D23. I think you're more likely going to get an announcement, easy for me to say, an announcement about what the next animated show is going to be. And when I say next animated show, I'm not talking like the next Tales of the Jedi or Tales of the Empire or Tales of the Sith or whatever you want to call it. Or Star Wars Visions or Young Jedi Adventures. I'm talking about multiple seasons, long form animated show. Like The Bad Batch or like The Clone Wars or like Star Wars Rebels. And I think we will get that next animated show announced in 2 weeks at at D23. Yeah. Star Wars Santa in the chat. What's up, Star Wars Santa? How we doing? Soul says, anyone else think that Sabine and Ahsoka are going to be in the Skeleton Crew? I don't know. It depends on where this takes place. In the Star Wars galaxy that we know or the other one. Alex, what's up? All right, let me put up a poll in the chat. Are you excited? Excited for Skeleton Crew? It feels like yesterday that I was putting up the same poll, but instead of are you excited for Skeleton Crew, I was saying, are you excited for the Acolyte? Time is really flying this year. It's crazy. But let's see where we're at. Are you excited for the Skeleton Crew show? I think Omega will show up. I do too. In Skeleton Crew, I absolutely agree. Okay, let me scroll back up here so I can catch up on these chats. Harrison says, apparently the series is important in the sense of it's going to tie in the greater Mandoverse story, either Ahsoka Season 2 or the Mando movie, whether that's plot points or characters we shall see. Yeah, this story is going to have to do with the greater story of the Mandoverse. It's more of a question of how, Agnes, what's up? Joseph says, Skeleton Crew. Favreau said, with Skeleton Crew, I would say each episode has its own feeling to it. Huh. Honestly, a very weird thing to say. I mean, with a show like Skeleton Crew, you wouldn't think that each individual episode has its own feeling to it. You'd think it's a cohesive story from start to finish. And not that that doesn't mean it's a cohesive story, but it's a weird thing to say. a weird thing to say. I appreciate all the hearts and the celebratory things in the chat, by the way. They're spamming on my screen. It's making me hard to read the chat, guys. But keep it coming. Stu John says, story could mirror the real-life division over the trilogy itself. Disney could introduce 3 new characters to set up the franchise for future growth. One being a Ben Skywalker, the story of Rey Skywalker and Ben Solo. The other 2 characters would be walk-ins, like at the end of the movie. The twin children of Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade, Luke and Jaina. Okay, let me slow down and stop for a second. Skeleton Crew takes place in the Mandoverse time period. So it takes place right after Ahsoka. So there's no way for Ben and Rey to have a child, although I like where your head's at. Now, on the other hand, you could have Mara Jade or some sort of Mara Jade-esque character show up in this show. I still believe that there is room for Mara Jade to show up in this Mandoverse time period. And I'm still going to stick to that. I want Luke Skywalker to have that. I want him to have that and maybe even have a secret child and maybe do all this crazy stuff because he has time to do that. A lot of time. Over 30 years almost. Yeah. Okay. Can you explain what Skeleton Crew even is? Oh, sorry, even what it's going to be about. I have no idea. Okay, we can talk about that a little bit, okay, because we really don't know much. Skeleton Crew, as far as we know, is being created by John Watts, who created all 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. In the description of the show is there's these 4 kids. One of them is actually the same species as Max Rebo from the Max Rebo band. So there's 4 kids. And when I say kids, I mean like 12, 13-year-olds. And it's like Goonies and Stranger Things meets Star Wars, and they get blasted off their home world, their safe home world, into the unknown galaxy. And they go off on this adventure trying to get back home. They come across pirates, they come across marauders, they come across all these different threats, but they also come across new allies, like Jude Law's character, who's going to be playing a Force user, as far as we're aware. We don't know if he's going to be a Jedi or not, but he could be a Jedi who survived Order 66. But as far as we know, he's going to be a Force user. And yeah, that's it. So we don't know what the end goal of this show is. We don't really know what the big conflict is going to be. We know pirates are going to be involved in some sort of way. The pirate Vane from Mando Season 3 is going to be in the show. But are they younglings? No. This is during the Mando time period, so they're not Jedi or anything like that. Maybe one of them's Force sensitive or all of them are Force sensitive. I don't know. But we really don't know much at all about this. That's why we need a trailer about right now. How crazy would it be if a trailer just came out during this live stream? I think it would be great. E-Shadow Ben, what is up? Okay. Aggressively relaxing. That is like a top tier. That could be a top 10 username of all time. Aggressively relaxing. That's incredible. Okay. Said, you know what's funny? There's no story about how easy it is to make a movie. That's true. I mean, maybe because those stories, well, first of all, it's not easy to make a movie, but I think what you're talking about is the more like, oh, this went very smoothly. This story or this show or this movie went really smooth. It was fantastic. No problems at all. You never hear that because maybe when it does happen, they're like, what's the complaint about? So maybe it's just the negativity in the media's narrative that we always hear the bad stuff. This went horribly, this production went terribly, blah 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 blah. But no, you're absolutely right. We never hear how easy it is to make a movie. That's true. James says something in the Skeleton Crew leans in heavily to the Filoni movie. I think they're going to scramble to fix this show. Hopefully they're not scrambling. I'm hoping that this concern behind the scenes has something to do completely with not the story itself. What reassures me about that is what reassures me about the fact that the story is going to be good is they streamlined this thing really quickly. John Watts came to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni with this idea for the show not that long ago. So they thought it was such a great idea that they had to implement it into the storytelling that they're doing right now because it's such a good story. So I'm hoping that that story was truly good enough to just go. And they don't have to do much fixing on it. Yeah. Thanks, John Stu. I appreciate that. Or Stu John. Jesus Christ. Yeah. What about Star Wars The Crimson Dawn? What do you mean? Like a show about that? The Crimson Dawn stuff was kind of explored a lot in comics over the last couple of years, and they were pretty good, if I do say so myself, bringing back Kira and the Crimson Dawn during the time of the original trilogy. It was good. But I would love to see that play out in live action or in animation, if that's what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting for Ahsoka Season 2. Well, the wait continues, because that's going to be a long wait. Ahsoka Season 2 might not come out till end of 2025, early 2026. Hopefully end of 2025. Hopefully they get that out quickly. But, yeah, might be a long, long time. Actually, completely off topic for just a quick second. I saw this today, and I wanted to show you guys. Ahsoka, or sorry, not Ahsoka. 2026 is going to be quite the year for Star Wars movies. 2026 is not only going to have 2 Star Wars movies, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and probably, I'd guess, the Rey movie, but I don't know. But it's going to have the Mandalorian and Grogu movie and another Star Wars movie, 100%. But it's also going to have the Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson. It's going to have the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2. It's going to have Shrek 5, the Hunger Games next movie, Toy Story 5, a live-action Moana movie, Avengers 5, and Dune 3. So, talk about box office insanity in 2026. Let's say, hopefully, the 2 Star Wars movies make $1 billion. That's $2 billion movies right there. The Avengers movie is guaranteed $1 billion, without a doubt. The Super Mario movie, the first one made $1 billion, so this one's probably going to make $1 billion too. That's another $1 billion movie. I don't think Dune 2 made $1 billion. Maybe it did, maybe not. I would guess that the third one will. And that's, you're talking $5 billion movies. Toy Story's, I mean, Inside Out 2 just made over $1 billion. This is going to make $1 billion. That's $6 billion movies in 1 year. And that's not even counting other ones that could be $1 billion. So 2026 is going to be quite the, I know it's 2 years away, but it's going to be quite the year for movies, with 2 of them being Star Wars, which is pretty awesome. Pretty damn cool. Yeah. Just a little bit off topic, but thought it was a little interesting. Where was I? Sounds like they're making last-minute changes. I would say it sounds like they're making tweaks. Hopefully not drastic changes, as they're running out of time at this point. Anthony says, Mike, the delay was primarily due to the writers and actors strike going on last summer. True. Originally, Skeleton Crew was supposed to be released on Disney Plus in November of 2023. Yes, and it was delayed because of those strikes, and that makes sense. They had to do reshoots. That's perfectly fine. I just hope that this show is going to be good. I need it to be good. We'll put it that way. Yeah. And while we're at it, just because I always forget to mention this, there's a free Discord in the description below to the people who love Star Wars. Go join that Discord right now, or else nothing. But go join that Discord. It's a lot of fun in there. Become a member. It's the best way to support the channel. We have a giveaway coming next Tuesday. So in less than a week from now, we have the next giveaway on the channel, and all you members have instant access to that giveaway, and it's only 99 cents to become a member. And of course, Super Chats. Super Chats, you can send in anything you want, but I also do impressions for Super Chats. So if you want to see me do any Star Wars impression, nothing else, Star Wars, it's not going to be good, but I'll do it. I always forget to say that during streams. I feel like it needs to be said. Stu John says there's no chance that this new series, Skeleton Crew, will carry Star Wars any more than Star Trek Prodigy carried that franchise. I don't know what that means. I'm not a Star Trek fan, so I could not tell you even what that begins to say. But yes. Okay. Mr. Revenge says 2 more episodes of Hot D, House of the Dragon, and then 0 decent television. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of any other shows that are on the horizon Star Wars is Skeleton Crew, but that's not for 5 months. Yeah, I don't even know. What is there for television to end this year? I feel like they jam-packed June too much with Acolyte, The Bear, House of the Dragon, The Boys. They put all the shows in 1 month. That was kind of dumb. Interesting. I hope the Skeleton Crew still has that November/early December drop date. Me too. I really hope they don't have to delay it even more. That would be a bummer. I'm hoping the Skeleton Crew has some spooky vibes to it. Monsters of the Week type thing with the droid from the poster. It gives us a serious split personality vibe. That is true. That is very true. And I am hoping the Skeleton Crew goes kind of Monster of the Week type deal. Yeah. I hope it has that feeling of like The Mandalorian. Mando Season 1 has a lot of filler episodes. If you were to describe what a filler episode is, that would be a lot of Mando Season 1. But filler episodes are necessary in a show or certain shows like that. I think The Mandalorian in shows like Ahsoka, Kenobi, Acolyte, those are completely different stories. The Mandalorian is establishing Din Djarin, Grogu in this world that we're going to live in for a long time, clearly. Ahsoka is telling a specific story about Ahsoka Tano, Sabine, Anakin Skywalker. The Acolyte's telling a specific story about these twins, witches, Plagueis, Soul, Chimere. Kenobi's telling a very specific story about Anakin and Kenobi. So you have that. You have specific stories that are being told in single season format. But then you have greater stories that just have that sort of Monster of the Week type feel, like The Mandalorian, like The Bad Batch. There'll be multiple seasons probably, and hopefully Skeleton Crew is like that and gets multiple seasons. I'm hoping. Oh, Chris Reed with a very generous $5 holla. God damn! Says, anything that's Disney Star Wars related is never exciting. That's why I didn't even watch The Acolyte. It's a joke. Well, Chris, I appreciate the very generous $5 holla, but I could not disagree with you more. Anything Disney Star Wars related? Did you not like The Mandalorian? Did you not like Rogue One? Did you not like Ahsoka? Did you not like Clone Wars Season 7? Did you not like Star Wars Rebels? Did you not like Andor? Did you not like any of this stuff? Yeah, no. But I appreciate it. I really, really do. I fully understand not liking specific projects. I'm not a biggest fan of The Last Jedi or even Rise of Skywalker, for that matter. Earlier episodes of Kenobi, I'm not the biggest fan of. Andor's very slow at points. Even, like, you just got some... There's some stuff that I just don't particularly love when it comes to Disney Star Wars. But to say that all Disney Star Wars... It's just too broad of a statement to me, you know? But I appreciate it. I hope Hondo Unaka shows up in the Skeleton Crew. I think Skeleton Crew has the opportunity to do something really cool like that. Show us characters that we really want to see in live action, that haven't been in live action before. Like Rebels cast or Clone Wars cast, like Hondo Unaka. My big one, like I mentioned on Tuesday, is Cal Kestis. Cal Kestis will be extraordinary to see come into live action. It would be before his third game, which would be a bummer and kind of confusing, but I don't know how they'll go about it, but I hope he is. The other big one is Omega. Omega showing up in live action for the first time after being established in Star Wars The Bad Batch will be fan-freaking-tastic. It'll be great. Oh, Patrick at the very generous $2 holla says, what's going on with the Skeleton Crew? Well, from what we know, at least, there is concern, so to speak, going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm about the Skeleton Crew show. Concern. We don't know what the concern is, but there is concern. So we'll have to wait and see. We're hoping a trailer's coming in a few weeks here, Patrick. Hopefully in a few weeks. But I appreciate the $2. I really, really do. I really, really do. Yeah, live action Hondo would be great. He would be great. Soul says the other galaxy is called the Far Galaxy according to Wikipedia. Really? Interesting. Then what's the Star Wars galaxy referred to as? Oh, my thing is still up here. My fault. What's the current Star Wars galaxy called? You know? If that one's called the Far Galaxy. I hope we get a trailer at after D23. Well, it will probably be at D23. Hopefully. What's crazy is I'm trying to figure out like how I'm gonna be home for that weekend because I got vacations going on. But we'll figure it out. Yeah. Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bum, bum. Okay. Where was I? John said that Skeleton Crew characters might appear in the Mando movie. Yeah, I think they probably will. If not the Mando and Grogu movie, then definitely Dave Filoni's movie. There's a reason that this show is so important and needed to be streamlined. Absolutely. John Groom says maybe there's stuff in the Skeleton Crew show that could have spoilers for Ahsoka or the Bad Batch, so they pushed it back for those reasons. Well, it would have been after Ahsoka, but it would have been before the Bad Batch. Maybe. I like where your head's at. They could be changing the story a little bit. They could. For the movie. That's true too. So you got to think about it this way. If the Skeleton Crew cast is involved in the Mando movie, then maybe they had to change the story because the Mandalorian and Grogu movie was announced in January of this year. So they didn't know they were doing a Mando movie until January of this year. So maybe because of that announcement, because the Mandalorian was going to the big screen, they had to change the ending or how the story ends with the Skeleton Crew cast members. That's definitely a possibility. 4 sure. No, 5 sure. Yeah. Yeah. If Omega is in Skeleton Crew, she'd be in her early 40s? Early 40s, really? Interesting. So who would you cast as her? Kay, what is up? Who would you cast as live action Omega then? Aggressively Relaxing says, my studio insider says that this studio insider came out of the bathroom with toilet paper on his shoe and all the other insiders laughed at him. What the hell are you talking about? Joseph says, Skeleton Crew co-creator Christopher Ford said that seems to be the philosophy being used for Skeleton Crew. All the stakes are as real as possible. The kids think that they are in Andor, he said. Oh, I get you. Like Andor clearly dies at the end. I hope the stakes are high with this show. It needs something to sort of give it that oomph to make fans care about it. And the stakes being really high would be fantastic. Robert says, people are comparing this show to like Goonies. I haven't really heard a comparison to any other Star Wars titles. And when you get Raja saying the executives are concerned, he's not exactly reliable. You have to always take what these insiders say with a giant grain of salt. All of it is just rumor and speculation and all this stuff. He said, she said, all that. So it's a big game of telephone that we're doing here. But a lot of times these guys are right. And even if there is some sort of concern going on behind the scenes, it might turn out fine, but that concern might have still have been there, you know? Yeah, no? Chris Reed with another very generous $2 holla says Rogue One and Mando are good, not the recent shows. Okay, that's perfectly fine. That's your expert opinion, Chris. Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is. Okay, where was I? I know that Jude Law, your talented actor mom, welcomes the galaxy far, far away. What? Oh, wait, what? The hell are you talking about? Jude Law? Jude Law is a very talented actor, but I don't know whose mom you're talking about. Sorry. Star Wars Santa says, my biggest concern with the Skeleton Crew is the fandom. I expect I'll enjoy the show, but the fandom is a little hypercritical. Oh, a little? You think? Santa, you think? Yeah. Obviously, the Star Wars fandom is going to be very critical of this show, as they always are. But I actually think Skeleton Crew has a lot going for it. Unlike The Acolyte. The Acolyte going in didn't really have much going for it, with the fact that people hated Leslie Headland, didn't really like the cast because of what they were saying in interviews, and already going in with a broken mind. Fans not really liking the show because of that. Skeleton Crew is a little bit different. People love Jude Law. Jude Law is a beloved actor. The creator is John Watts, a beloved director who did the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, which are beloved movies. With the connection of Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, I think there's a lot of positivity in the background with the Skeleton Crew, unlike The Acolyte had. So I think it's going to be a very different feel in the Star Wars fandom going into episode 1 of the Skeleton Crew show. Very different than what it felt like in The Acolyte. Yeah. Clement says, Dave and John also created the Book of Boba Fett. That is true. But that's maybe a me thing. I don't think the Book of Boba Fett's nearly as bad as people make it out to be. And that was more Jon Favreau than Dave Filoni. But he was involved. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. When I hear Book of Boba Fett, for some reason, and it's not that I don't really, I do like the earlier episodes of that season. Like the stuff with the Tusken Raiders, the train heist scene is great. But what always sticks out to me is just From the Desert Comes a Stranger. It's the best episode. It truly is, and it's one of the top 3 episodes for me in any Star Wars show. Luke training Grogu, the first live-action appearance of Cad Bane, who's my favorite bounty hunter, Ahsoka and Luke interacting. That's Anakin's Padawan and Anakin's son interacting right there. Of course, Din Djarin, Grogu having to make the decision to go with Din. Fantastic. Indeed. Joseph says, Jude Law said that they need guidance. They are very vulnerable. Easy for me to say. And so throughout the people they meet, you questioned all of them. Is my character nice or is he not? Interesting. So these kids are going to be meeting all different types of characters. Whether they can trust them or not is a big issue. And whether they can trust Jude Law's character is also going to be a pretty big issue. That'd be crazy if Jude Law was just a villain the whole time. Like, we've been sitting here calling him a great actor, how he's going to be an awesome, cool new character in Star Wars, and he's just the villain of the show. That'd be pretty wild. Yeah. That'd be wild. There have been Skeleton Crew leaks with Lego sets. There have been some leaks for Skeleton Crew. We looked at the photo from last stream. See if I can pull that up really quickly, actually. But there have been some leaks when it comes to this show, but for the most part, they've kept everything pretty hush-hush, which honestly is a good thing. When you think about it, it's a great thing because that means they're keeping secrets for a reason. This was the poster I was talking about. This is what we looked at last time. Let me zoom out a little bit. Boom. Well, what the heck? Oh, okay. Cool. So you got the weird droid in the middle with one dark red eye and then one light eye. I don't know what's going on there. Your 4 main kid characters here. Jude Law standing, his silhouette is right there. And then the Skeleton Crew logo at the bottom. Santa Claus. Cyborg. Yeah, so there have been some leaks, but again, the plot, the surprises that could be happening, we really don't know much at all about this show. Indeed. Skeleton Crew's going to be Acolyte 2.0. I certainly hope not, at least in terms of the fandom's reaction. Yeah. Lore is one of the main things I want from Star Wars shows and movies. Oh, 100%. If you're not expanding the lore, then what the hell's the point of the show? I think The Mandalorian probably expands the lore of Star Wars the least of all these shows, but it's so good as a show itself that it kind of makes up for that. Because Ahsoka expands the lore astronomically, so does The Acolyte, so does Kenobi a little bit. I don't think Kenobi's really expanding the lore all that much, just because we kind of knew the story going on there already. You know? Yeah. Just joined now. What happened with Skeleton Crew? I hope you kind of got this because this chat is probably from a while ago. When is Star Wars Celebration? That's actually a great question. When is the next Star Wars Celebration? Well, there actually isn't one this year, but there is one next year, and that is in April, I believe. April of next year in Japan. So next Star Wars Celebration is going to be in Japan. I will not be attending unless something drastically changes. But yeah, as far as I know, I will not be going. But it is in Japan next year. That's the next Star Wars Celebration. Indeed. I want Visions Season 3. I'm going to be completely honest. I would not care in the slightest if we didn't get Visions Season 3. I know a lot of you guys really like that show. I know. I'm not the biggest fan. Honestly, Season 1 was pretty good. There was some good episodes, some really bad episodes. Season 2 was all right. Worse than Season 1, but again, some good episodes, some bad episodes. I just think there's better things to spend your time on, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, no? Yeah, no? Oh my god, did it scroll down to the bottom? No. Okay, I think we're going to switch gears here and switch from the Skeleton Crew to Star Wars Outlaws because I want to know where you guys are at with this show. In the chat, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Star Wars Outlaws? Tell me in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Star Wars Outlaws? And by the way, this poll has 82% of you currently are excited for this Skeleton Crew show with almost 100 votes in. An 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Oh my God. These are some pretty damn high scores. 8. Interesting. It is definitely closer than Skeleton Crew, I'll give you that. It comes out at the end of August 30th, I believe. 7, 8, 10, 5. Only because I don't have a PlayStation 5. Ooh, interesting. 6, nice. I'm not a gamer, but it looks fun. Okay. 7 would be higher if I had faith in Ubisoft as a company. That seems to be a concern. Yeah, that seems to be a concern. I hope you do a playthrough on your channel, Mike. We will be doing a playthrough of this game. 100% we will be doing a playthrough of this game. Mike Fort says, I saw a clip from Outlaws and it looks horrid. 1 out of 10. Okay, interesting. Not a gamer, but it does look like a lot of fun. Here's the biggest pitch. Here's the pitch for this Star Wars Outlaw game. Plain and simple, Star Wars open world game. You allow Star Wars fans to play in Star Wars and do whatever they want. Go on adventures on planets they want, do side missions, bounty hunting missions, smuggling missions. Do whatever you want. Make enemies with the Empire. Make friends with the Empire. Make enemies with Jabba the Hutt. Make friends with Jabba the Hutt. Kill Jabba the Hutt. Do whatever you want. It's in the time period of Episode 5 and Episode 6, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And you can do whatever you want. It sounds like an incredible game. However, there's a few hiccups in that pitch that have thrown fans off the bandwagon, I guess. And that is, one, the main character is not really customizable. Her name is Kay Vess. She's a new character to Star Wars, and she's not customizable. Now, I think this is a very stupid complaint. Yes, I'd love to customize my own character, do whatever. But you look at Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, Cal Kestis is Cal Kestis. You can't change the character at all, either. So what's the complaint here? There's no difference. There is none. So I think that's really stupid. However, the complaint now becomes the quality of the game itself. And that's where things get interesting. So they just released a trailer for this game, and I want to see what you guys think about this. I want to know. This came out just a few days ago, and I want to know your thoughts on this.
This month's IGN First is Star Wars Outlaws. We'll be diving deep into Massive Entertainment's open world adventure.
For now, I'm just going to mute that guy just so we don't get copy struck. But let's just take a look at this game.
And features. We've already explored how Massive brought the cinema.
So not only is it open worlds, because you can go to different worlds like Tatooine and actually, I don't even know if they confirmed this or not, but what's the casino planet in The Last Jedi? Somebody tell me in the chat, but that planet might be involved in here too. I don't know if they confirmed it or not, but it's not just open world, it's open space too. So you can literally go and fight the Empire or smugglers or pirates in space whenever you want.
Cinematic spectacle of Star Wars into an open galaxy setting, and now we're thrilled to bring you a...
This was a concern. People didn't think this looked good. Honestly, I've played games that look better, but it looks pretty good to me.
Full mission of exclusive gameplay. Taking place on the classic desert planet of Tatooine, this expert mission takes Kate on a journey involving a Jawa.
Yeah, Jawas. So this video is actually just like a mission. It's showing you 10 minutes of an exclusive mission. We're not going to watch all of it, but...
And a Sarlacc pit as she journeys from...
She goes into a Sarlacc pit? God damn, I didn't even watch this. Canto Bites. Yes, thank you, Canto Bite. This is the inside of a Sarlacc pit. That's pretty cool. Probably a dead one, I'm guessing.
From the sand to the stars. Enjoy.
So it's completely open world. So she's on Tatooine right now, just going. You can just go wherever you want. Just go. You can go to Luke's home. You can go to the cantina. You can go just through the desert. You can go talk to some Jawas. You can go inside of a Sarlacc pit. You can go do whatever the hell you want. That sounds awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun with this game. A lot. So here she goes and talks to some Jawas.
I'm sorry. Reminds me of my time negotiating.
Oh, you got a C-3PO looking droid. What do you guys think about the graphics? People were complaining because it looks very different from the original trailer that we got. What do we think?
Stay sharp, Kay. A pristine Sarlacc tooth is worth a lot on the black market.
You saying I'll have competition?
It just feels like you're in Star Wars, and it really makes me excited.
Dead Sarlaccs get scavenged fast. Anyone else looking for a tooth won't be coming alone.
She's looking for a Sarlacc tooth. Okay, let's see. So here she's going to go climb into this Sarlacc pit. This is her sidekick right here. I believe the little creature's name is Nyx, I believe, but I'm not too sure. Look at that. It's a dead Sarlacc pit, and now she's just going to go climb inside.
We're going in next. Okay, that's one mouth down. You good, buddy?
I mean, come on. Let's see. This is just the one mission. She goes through the tunnels of it. Oh, and then she gets met
Hurry,
by...
please.
What's actually really cool, it just popped into my head. You can run into bounty hunters like Bosk, Boba Fett even. Especially when you're working for Jabba the Hutt. You can really run into anybody in the Star Wars galaxy at this time.
Hey, come back here. That's my tooth.
A lot of people compared this game to like GTA meets Star Wars because GTA is of course an open world game, but this is way bigger than GTA. Like tens of times bigger than GTA. We'll just cut. Is this Jabba's palace? No, it's just a hangar.
Wait.
Now you get some stealth going on here.
All right, Nix. Go
And
get
send
him.
Nix to go attack him. Nice takedowns. That's what I love the best about Star Wars Jedi Survivor was the takedowns. It was so good.
Someone nearby.
Getting jumpy.
They're headed for us.
Whoa.
Oh, got the tooth. I should get out of here.
Damn. He can pick up his gun? Oh, that's sick.
You think you can take me? Come on. Going loud. Oh!
Sorry, I just got completely consumed by this game. It looks incredible to me. I understand the graphics don't look as good as they did in the trailer, because they don't. We're going to go watch that trailer in just a second here. But when you have a Star Wars open world game, I would rather take these graphics, which look perfectly fine to me. I understand that they don't look as good as the other trailer did, but they look fan-frickin-tastic. I mean, does anybody see anything wrong here? When you have a Star Wars open world game where I can literally take this character and do whatever I want for hours on end, living in the Star Wars galaxy, going to Tatooine, the only thing that would make this better is if it was in VR so I could literally live there. Or in reality, if I could literally live there. I can't wait for this game. I literally can't wait. I'm so excited to do the playthrough and just literally live in this world. I can't wait to go to Tatooine, go to the cantina, drink some blue milk maybe, go even all over the place. Does it have online? Okay, so that's another big issue, or at least my big issue with this game. Online, there is none. You can't really play, there is no multiplayer in this game, so it's a single player game. It's just like Star Wars, the Jedi games, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Outlaws. It's the same thing. It's just one player. And I was, growing up, never a fan of these solo mission campaign games where you're just playing by yourself. I would way rather play with my friends or play with other people online. That's why I love the Battlefront games. Battlefront 1, Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, Battlefront 1, and then Battlefront 2 again. I love those games because they're multiplayer and they're Star Wars. You feel like you're actually in Star Wars fighting in a war in Star Wars. It's fantastic. But we need more multiplayer Star Wars games. This sounds cool. It's an open world game. It's cool. But I want online. I want to play with you guys. It's as simple as that. So we could go back and we could play Battlefront 2 all we want. But there's no cross-play to Battlefront 2. And they stopped updating that game years ago. So unless they're working on Battlefront 3, which I certainly hope they are, but I don't think they are, we need a multiplayer game ASAP. ASAP. I don't care what it is. Just give it to me. Just give it to me. But let's go watch this other trailer, the official trailer, I should say, for this game. Whoops. And then this was the trailer that came out a year ago. Wow, a year ago we got the trailer for this? That's pretty wild. Okay, let's watch this trailer then from a year ago. Has 3 million views.
These are dangerous times.
Whoops.
At least that's what I hear. The Empire? They're everywhere.
Whoa. Hang on. It's lagging for me over here. Let's try this again. So obviously this trailer is going to be way more lifelike when it's kind of just because it's a trailer. It's not really gameplay footage. Now, some of it will be gameplay footage, I believe, but the majority of it is just going to be that sort of make it look really, really good so that people play it.
Here. The Empire?
I mean, come on.
But the world here?
So in the opening 20 seconds of this trailer, you get the Empire versus the Rebellion. You get Pike's Syndicate in the underworld of Star Wars, and you get Jabba the Hutt with his guards bringing Han Solo frozen in carbonite back to his palace. How does that not get you hyped up?
Belongs to the syndicates.
Cantina time.
I want to survive.
Oh yeah, by the way, talk about it being like GTA. You can go and play games inside of the game. Like in GTA, you can go to the casino and play blackjack or poker or whatever. You can play sabacc in this game. You can go play a Star Wars arcade game in this game. It's that cool.
I have to play their game.
This is Nyx, by the way. This is her sidekick. This is the BD droid of BD1 of this game.
Looks like I'm all in.
She's in here somewhere.
On second thought, I'm out.
There she is.
I've been held back my whole life.
Here's the thing. This, as far as the eye can see, is what you can do. You could just go wherever you want. Do whatever you want. If you wanted to go sit in the middle of nowhere and just look and do nothing, you can do that. This is a game where you can do that.
And now, I just need a chance to finally be free.
Is this Crate?
Wherever that.
You know what I'm talking about with like the salt mines thing on Crate?
Wherever that takes me.
I'm here to offer you a way out, okay?
Get off my ship, Jalen.
Give me a chance. You're gonna have to trust me. It'll be dangerous, risky. But if you pull this off, you'll never look over your shoulder again.
This is obviously like the main story that's going on. You can do the open world stuff and do whatever you want, and you're obviously going to. But there's a main story that you can be doing, and that's working with this guy and the droid, where you're going to do this big mission to probably take from the Empire, take from the Pike Syndicate, whatever it may be. A Rancor, of course. This is probably a Jabba's palace. Looks fantastic. I think this is Canto Bight, but I could be wrong. This is definitely Canto Bight.
The underworld shows no mercy. But it's a
Is this the same guy from the Book of Boba Fett? Was that the bad guy from the Book of Boba Fett?
but it's a big galaxy out there. And I'm gonna risk it all.
So that was from a year ago. That trailer dropped a year ago, which is pretty wild. But yeah, it's coming right around the corner here. Okay, let me, this is EA, right? No, it's Ubisoft. But Ubisoft, a lot of fans have kind of been on the edge of like, do we trust Ubisoft or not? We'll have to wait and see, again, how good this is going to be. But from the trailers, it looks pretty damn good. It looks pretty damn good. Yeah. Wow, she drives a rectangle as a ship. It's very similar to actually Luthen's ship from Andor. Yeah. It looks like an early design for the Millennium Falcon, honestly. Yeah. Indeed. So now, I ask again, how excited are you for this game? Actually, let me ask you, are you going to pick up this game? Are you going to play this game? Should we pull this up? Let me pull it up. We'll end this other poll. We shall end this other poll. 80% of you guys, by the way, are excited for the Skeleton Crew, while 20% are not. We'll see if a trailer or anything changes that, but that's still a lot more people than I thought. Okay. Are you going to... Actually, we'll just go, are you excited for Star Wars Outlaws? Yes or no? We'll do it like that. We'll do it like that. Pre-ordered this one? Really? Already? Jordan, which version did you get, Jordan? Waiting for it to go on sale? Okay, interesting. I'll definitely play it if it's on sale. Okay. I'm glad it's not Aspire Media. Yeah. The price for this game is outrageous. That's a big issue too. That's a big issue with the fans, is this game is extremely expensive. Extremely, extremely, extremely expensive. Actually, let me double check. I believe the like gold edition or whatever it is. Let me look it up. Star Wars Outlaws for sale. Let's see. Star Wars Outlaws. Just go on to the Xbox.com, I guess, see if it gives us a price. It says not available. Oh, wait. Okay, so the base game, just the base game, is $69.99. That's $70. That's crazy. I get it. It's an open world Star Wars game. It probably cost a lot to make. That's a lot of money. Then the gold edition is $110. And then the Star Wars Ultimate Edition, Star Wars Outlaws Ultimate Edition, is $130. That's crazy. $130 is wild, but $70 for the base game. I guess, like, now video games are that, like, rate. They're $70. I think the new Call of Duty was $70. Games in general are about $70, but that's absurd. That's insane. This game is one that's not multiplayer. It doesn't have a battle pass, so it's not going to be making money any other way, so it has to make money just based off of buying the game. So it needs to make money somehow, and that makes sense. But $130 for the deluxe version or the Ultimate Edition, whatever you want to call it, that's crazy. That's crazy. But with that being said, this actually comes out at the end of August. So I was thinking about doing something very cool for a giveaway at the end of August, because we do giveaways for our members at the end of every month, and we would give away a few of these games. What do you guys think of that? I think because it's so expensive, because a lot of people don't have the funds, obviously, and a lot of people want to play this game, I think it's a great idea. Give away some of these games. I think it's fantastic. Indeed, I do. Okay, but that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Charlotte, what's up? Jordan says the graphics are cool, but they don't make a game. I want a good story in the Star Wars world. Looks to me like they have like they got a great shot. I agree. I think the story, as much as I know about, seems pretty good, but just the fact that it's open world and I get to live in Star Wars sounds incredible. Yeah. Zoe loves that idea. Me too. I was right. The base version in Canada is $89.99. Geez, that's crazy. That's crazy. It is a nice giveaway. Yeah, I mean, it would probably be one of the biggest giveaways we've ever done in channel history. But I think it's the move, I think. I think it's hopefully going to be a really fun game, and that would be nice. That would be nice. Indeed. Nice. Harrison says, I'm going to wait until I get to see it gets patched and on sale because of the price, but very keen to play it still. There you go. There you go. There you go. Mike Ford says, I have the money, but $130 is a lot. I could take a woman on like 13 dates for that much. $10 a date. Where are you taking these? $10 on a date? That's crazy. That's hilarious. Wendy's 4 for $5. Okay. There you go. Costco. That's hilarious. Okay, David says, I'm coming in late. What's the Skeleton Crew bad news? Well, we talked about it for quite a while, but I'll recap it just for you. John Racha and Bespin Bolton and Making Star Wars also seem to be saying that there's concern behind the scenes with Lucasfilm, but again, with the Skeleton Crew show. But again, we don't really know what concern means. If it has to do with the story itself or has to do with how the audience is going to take it, we really don't know. And the bad news about this Star Wars Outlaws thing is that fans are very concerned about the graphics in this game. Yeah. Who are you kidding? You're not going on any dates? Oh, damn. Chris shooting absolute shots fired at Mike Ford. McDonald's? Nice. Damn. That's standard price for every game? Yeah, it is now, but $70 is still insane. It's insane. I like the games that come out for free. I usually play the games that come out for free. Right now, I'm in a crazy X-Defiant sort of binge where I'm only playing X-Defiant. Anybody ever even heard of X-Defiant and or play X-Defiant? I play that. I play Rocket League. I play Apex Legends. I play... That's about it. I don't know. What else do I play? X-Defiant is awesome. Nice. 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 Okay. Let me, by the way, this is only 70% of you now are excited for Star Wars Outlaws, when over 80% of you were excited for Skeleton Crew, so that's weird. What am I ranked in Rocket League? Honestly, I've been playing so much X-Defiant right now, I don't even know if I'm ranked in the new season. But I was previously ranked about Diamond 1 or Diamond 2. I'm not that good. I never said I was good at video games. I just play a lot of them. Yeah. 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 X-Defiant is all right. Not really a first-person shooter game anymore, though. Oh, or nice. English. I'm still playing Baldur's Gate 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2 with my buddy. I can't wait for. I can't wait a year for this. I can wait a year for this. What do you mean? Oh, for this game, I understand. Yeah. X-Defiant reminds me of the old Call of Duty games. Well, yeah, that's the whole point. It's the guy who created those old Call of Duty games who came over and made this. Indeed. All right, let me end this poll because I want to talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie before we run out of time here. Because the Mandalorian and Grogu movie finally got some leaked photos of the set that they're creating right now. This is pretty cool. It confirms that a planet will be involved, a very familiar planet in the Star Wars Mandoverse universe, I should say, is involved. And shout out to Navarro if he's still in the chat. That planet is Navarro. So these set leaks photos from the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, this come from Bespin Bolton, confirmed that we are returning to Navarro in this Mando and Grogu movie. 2 weeks ago, Making Star Wars shared images of the set being built in El Segundo and believe that it could be possibly be Navarro. Today, Star Wars Insider has returned to the location, snapped more images, and has confirmed a return to Navarro for Din Djarin and Din Grogu. Let's not forget his name is now Din Grogu. But before we continue this, the significance of Navarro is a big one. Not only with the tragic passing away of what the heck, why is it doing that? Of Carl Weathers, but also Navarro is where we left Din and Grogu. So it makes sense that we are going to be there, obviously. But the significance of Navarro has gone all the way back to the first season of The Mandalorian, from their confrontation between them and Moff Gideon at the finale of that first season. We've seen Navarro go through quite a lot of changes over the course of this show, and I wonder what's going to happen in this movie. We'll see about that. Okay. Talking with the Threads, okay. Making Star Wars... I was talking to the Threads? I don't know what that means. But Making Star Wars wrote, I can confirm the planet Navarro will return in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. As you can see in the photos I took, the planet the planet's basalt or basalts, sir, is being constructed around architecture. Architecture, and there are piles to cover the ground. Note that the turret structure has been wrapped in black, covering it to keep it clean, but the basalts surround it. Okay, let's take a look at this. So this is the pile of it to cover the whole grounds. That is something, and that is something else. These are very blurry images, don't you think? I don't really know what I'm looking at here. It's currently no surprise that the Mandalorian Grogu movie is returning to the planet of Navarro. Makes sense. This planet has shown up in all 3 seasons of the Mandalorian series. Personally, I was hoping that we wouldn't return to the planet and that we'd spend most of our time in new locations. Well, this could still be the case, that we're spending most of our time in new locations. It makes a lot of sense, actually. But we're going to at least start off on this Navarro planet because that's where we left off with our 2 characters. But considering how the 3rd season of The Mandalorian ended, it makes sense to feature Navarro in the movie, given that Din and Grogu decided to settle down there. It's currently their home world. Given the tragic passing of Greef Karga's actor Carl Weathers earlier this year, it'll be interesting to see how they handle Weathers passing away in the story. Navarro and Karga are strongly linked, as Karga became the High Magistrate of the planet in later seasons of The Mandalorian. I wonder if Karga is mentioned living his life off screen in the flick, or if Karga passes away off screen. So before we continue this, let's talk about that. Carl Weathers has passed away, and we're met with a very similar situation with Ray Stevenson as well in the Ahsoka show, as he played Baylan Skoll. What do you do with these characters now? Now, obviously, each individual character has a different scenario, and Greef Karga's is a little bit different. What do you do with this character? Zoomed in from 1,000 yards away. That's what it looks like. It's a very blurry image. What do you do with this character now? What do we think, chat? How do you go about this? I actually have a pretty good thing. Those pictures prove that someone still owns a BlackBerry. That's hilarious. What do you do with the character? You got to kill off Greef. Interesting. They will recast him. I don't think so. Recast if needed. Kill him off early in the movie. Okay. It'll just be a plot gap. Just wipe off Greef Karga. Interesting. Similar to Black Panther 2 for Greef Karga. Open up with a funeral for him. I like that, actually. Start with an intro of a funeral for Karga. Okay. I like Jay. Jay's option is my favorite option, and what I was going to say as well. Open, or at least an early scene of this movie, opens with Thrawn coming in and destroying Navarro, killing Greef Karga and all the people of Navarro, and making Thrawn a threat to Din and Grogu. Because Thrawn is most likely going to be the overarching villain of these Mandoverse movies. He is supposed to be the heir to the Empire, but you have to make him at least be a threat to Din and Grogu. Right now, he's obviously a threat to Hera Syndulla, Sabine, Ahsoka, the Rebels crew, but not Din and Grogu. So you have to establish Thrawn as a villain to Din. In what better way than killing his friend? Killing his best friend, supposedly. Killing his friend that he's been working with for the last 3 seasons. And all the other innocent people of Navarro along with him. So I think that would be the perfect way to sort of kill Greef Karga off screen while also making his character even more important, because his death now allows Din to hate Thrawn and pisses him off. Yeah, you got to piss Din off. That's for damn sure. And Navarro exists in the Outer Rim, and that's where Thrawn is currently right now, Dothamir, which is also in the Outer Rim. So it wouldn't be that far-fetched to see Navarro get destroyed by Grand Admiral Thrawn early on in this Mandalorian and Grogu movie, so that not only does it kill off Greef Karga and Carl Weathers' character, who sadly passed away, then it also allows Din to have a deep hatred for the character of Grand Admiral Thrawn, which needs to happen. Absolutely needs to happen. Yeah. What do we think? What do we think? The pirates got him, maybe? Pirates could kill him too. But I feel like if you're going to establish Thrawn as a big villain early on in the movie, might as well do that. Yeah, no? Yeah, no? You can't recast Carl Weathers. Yeah, I don't think so. There's no way to recast him. He's too deep in. With Baylan Skoll, it's a little bit different. Baylan Skoll was only in one season of Ahsoka. Not really the main character of Ahsoka, neither is Greef Karga, but Greef Karga's already been involved in 3 seasons of this Mando show, and Carl Weathers is a massive actor. Not to say that Ray Stevenson isn't a good actor, because he was, but their characters are at completely different points in their arcs. Erica, what's up? Yeah. Darth Thor says, I'm in the camp of recasting everyone. I think Disney will kill him off screen and maybe have a comic showing it. You could do that, yeah. But I think killing him off screen while being also on screen is probably a better way to do that. Yeah. You kill him on screen while also him not being on the screen. But we know he was there and he dies. Yeah. Why would Thrawn care about Navarro? That's a great question. Why would Thrawn destroy Navarro? I honestly don't know. I don't. I think it would be a great thing, but why is the big question. Why would he do that? It's very true. I don't know. I really don't. What would Thrawn's... maybe he's starting to just establish that his dominance on the Outer Rim? Maybe. I really have no clue. Harrison says, that would most definitely set the stakes very high. Yeah. If the movie opens with Thrawn destroying Navarro, killing Greef Karga, that would definitely set the stakes very high. Yeah. Ooh, that's true. The Empire was once on Navarro. They had their cloning facility there. Maybe he comes for that. Maybe Thrawn is looking for the cloning facilities that the Empire was working on. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. The Wizard Cat, what's up, says, I'm watching the best version of Wolverine today. The best version of Wolverine? I have to admit that Logan sucked, and this movie is going to make things right. Wow. Logan sucked? That's the bold take of the year right there. That's insane. Logan? That's wild. Kit Fisto, what's up? Wasn't Gideon's base on Navarro? Yes, so the Empire did have a base on Navarro. So that would make some sense. If Thrawn's looking for the Imperial bases, you have to remember, we saw the Shadow Council in The Mandalorian Season 3. There's all these different higher-ups, these Moffs in the Empire in that Shadow Council meeting that were all kind of arguing with each other. Some believed that Thrawn was going to come in and be the great heir to the Empire. And then there was others that were like, we should be doing other things. Project Necromancer was one of them. Of course, Moff Gideon was doing his own thing. So all these different higher-ups in the Empire have their own plans. So Thrawn has to come in and establish his dominance and bring together this remnant of the Empire. And to do so, he might have to clank some heads, destroy some people, and maybe even destroy some Imperial facilities, like the one on Navarro. Interesting. Interesting. Kit Fisto, what's up? Navarro already had an Imperial outpost. That's true. That is true. Logan was the best X-Men movie. Yeah, I probably agree with that. Yeah, probably. I'm very excited to see Deadpool 3 tomorrow. In preparation, I watched Deadpool 1 a few days ago, and I watched Deadpool 2 yesterday. Those movies are so good. So good. Stu John, what's up? Disney seems to nail the rated R ones. What do you mean? Deadpool and Wolverine's going to be like their first rated R one. Because the first two Deadpool movies are made by 20th Century Fox, not Disney. Yeah. Yeah. Navarro seems to be an important location for Imperial purposes. Yeah, I guess. But why? You know? Carl Weathers action figure now on sale at Ollie's. I don't know what Ollie's is, but that's crazy. Carl Weathers directed some great episodes too. Yes, in season 3, he directed an episode or two, I believe. Maybe just one. I'm not too sure. Yeah. I like that theory. Keeping Thrawn actually as a threat. Yeah. I want to see Thrawn be badass in this movie. I want to see Thrawn be badass in Ahsoka season 2 and be badass the rest of the way. You know? Yeah, I know. Navarro hid the Mandalorians. That's true. Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of Outer Rim planets that mean a lot in the Star Wars galaxy right now. Mandalore being one of them, Navarro being one of them, Dathomir being one of them. All these planets have connections to the Mandalorians, to Din and Grogu, and to Grand Admiral Thrawn in what he's trying to do. So we'll see how it all plays out, but there is a possibility that all this could happen. Yeah. Yeah, it does, Matt. It really does. Indeed. Jecki was awesome in Logan. Yeah, that's true. The girl who plays Jecki, Daphne Keane, she was great in Logan. And she's, I don't even know if I should say that. It was in the trailer, but, don't want to do that. Yeah. I wonder if Thrawn will go to Mount Tantus. That's a big question. They set up Mount Tantus in the Bad Batch for a reason. They didn't destroy Mount Tantus in the Bad Batch for a reason. Yes, they destroyed some of it. We got to see Nala Se sacrifice herself at the end of Bad Batch Season 3 to blow up all the evidence and all the research that she did on Mount Tantus. But they didn't destroy the entire facility, and I think they did that for a reason. I think Thrawn is going to eventually go back to Mount Tantus and maybe be cloning some Force sensitives. Maybe get to see some Luke Skywalker going on in this bitch. Yeah, no? Hux is probably the unknown in the unknown regions right now. Maybe. You're talking about Hux's dad or whatever? Yeah, probably. Thrawn does love the aerial bombardments. Yeah, he does. Logan was awesome. I forgot how violent it was until I rewatched it a few days ago. Xavier going off about chalupas at Taco Bell was hilarious, though. Yeah, it was. Love the Marvel Rivals beta, by the way. Got to be a lot of fun. Marvel Rivals? What's that? I don't know what that is. First Class is my favorite. First Class is great. The new cast was really good. Like, they casted... Not only did they get the cast right the first time, they got it right a second time, too, which is impressive. Yeah. Why not Luke Skywalker? We already got Jake Skywalker. I want Luke Skywalker. And when I say Luke Skywalker, I'm talking about a cloned version of Luke. I didn't just have a stroke every time I said Luke Skywalker. I'm talking about a cloned version of Luke Skywalker from Legends called Luke Skywalker. I think Thrawn could go back to Mount Tantus, and we could get to see that come into reality. Yeah. The only good X-Men are the ones to come. Ooh. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know if Thrawn will even be in Ahsoka Season 2. I think he will. I think he definitely will. Dave Filoni talked about how he's going to pin Hera Syndulla and Thrawn, the two generals, against each other. Obviously, Thrawn being a Grand Admiral, but Hera's being a general. The two generals against each other, because it's not Force user versus Force user, it's actual strategic mind versus strategic mind, and we're going to get to see that battle play out, which will be pretty cool. Yeah. Brendol Hux gets killed by Phasma? Really? I did not know that. Where does that take place? Mount Tantus was in the Heir to the Empire trilogy written by Timothy Zahn. Yes, that's the Legends one, though. Yeah, I think we could see it. If that's the case, we could see Thrawn revisit Lothal, and he had unfinished business there, too. Maybe it will begin there. That definitely could be the case. Lothal was introduced into live action in the Ahsoka series, so it's already been established there. So we could be going back. We definitely could be going back. Why not? That's where Ezra's from. Maybe Ezra's going back there too. I wonder how involved this Mando and Grogu movie is going to be with characters like Ezra Bridger and Harrison Dula. And if those characters are actually going to be involved in this story. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Thrawn could resurrect Malicos on Dathomir? Yeah, I made that theory video so long ago now. It feels like a bajillion years ago. It was probably only like 4 or 5 months ago. But I did make that video about how Terran, is it Jaron Malicos? Whatever it is. Malicos, the guy from Fallen Order, the first Jedi games, he gets buried alive on Dathomir. Not killed, but buried alive. It's possible that he could have survived that. And now he's still on Dathomir, and Thrawn is going to Dathomir, and we could be seeing the two sort of team up and him be a Force user to help him. Yeah. For sure. Wasn't he like absorbed by the stone or something? I don't know about absorbed by the stone, but Marin like buried him alive. That's all we really know. That's all we really know. Felix says, I read the Phasma book a few years ago. I'm going to be completely honest. I have not read the Phasma book. I have heard that the Phasma book is actually really good, though. Like, Phasma in that is so much better than she was even in the sequel trilogy. I'd be down for that. That Malicos fight was so hard. Oh, yeah, it was. It really was. I think that was one of them that I had to, like, turn down my difficulty to finish. It was pretty tough. It was a cool fight, though. Oh, yeah, it was. It was an awesome fight. An awesome fight. Okay, wait. I missed one of these super chats. My fault. Chris Reed with another very generous $2 holla says, will Disney remake the original trilogy? No. There is no way that Disney's going to remake the original trilogy. That would be extremely stupid. And actually, I think it's in the contracts that they can't do anything like that. Yeah. That fight was pretty easy in Grandmaster, to be honest. Okay, Darth Raccoon. Okay. Sure. Sure it was. Yeah. Didn't you have to force push as he charged you or something? I don't really remember, but yeah. Yeah, that Phasma book was pretty good. Lots of action, and it was totally in a totally disgusting Brendol Hux. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to check that one out. Harrison said, did anyone else get weird vibes from Ezra and Ahsoka? Like, whatever power is on Peridia and started to affect him. All the Stormtrooper dog tags that he was rocking with, and the overly blue eyes, and Ezra being so eager to dip and not seemingly care that Sabine and Ahsoka didn't make it. I think there was probably a little bit going on there. He's been there for, what, like 10, 11 years by himself, so that's probably something. But Iman did an incredible job with Ezra Bridger. No doubt about that. Cole says, love from Scotland. Ooh, Scotland? Nice. I appreciate that, Cole. Where's everybody from tonight? Where's everybody tuning in from today on this fine Thursday afternoon? He did seem a little off, really. Anybody else think he was feeling off today? Anybody? Texas, Germany? Cool. CT, is that Connecticut? Texas again? Ooh. Naboo? Whoa. Wisconsin? Nice. Sweden, Colorado? Lowell, Massachusetts? Wow. Very close. New York, Seattle, Pennsylvania, Alabama, Texas, California, Michigan. Wow. All over the world today. Is that Georgia? GA? Toronto? Australia? Currently in southern Wisconsin? Nice. The UK, nice. UK. Maine. Wow. Houston? Crazy. We're all over the place today. Ezra had to kill the time somehow, and he always struggled with the dark side tendencies. That's true. Ezra always had that dark side to him. I wonder if that will be played with at all in these upcoming movies. upcoming shows as well. Indeed. Oh, I want to show you guys this before we get on out of here. This kind of got to me. Okay, this kind of got to me. I was on the Instagrams, and I saw this meme, and it's just a meme. You don't want to let memes get to you, But I want your guys' take on this. Okay. This is the post. It says the Star Wars world, and it's like you got Camino, Coruscant. I don't even know what that one is, or that one for them. What is that? That's Mandalore right there. That's Felucia. That's something. I don't even know. And that's Mustafar. And then the Star Wars worlds, according to Disney. In the caption for this post says, only Disney could make me hate Tatooine, as it's Tatooine, then some forest, then Tatooine, then a desert, then Tatooine, then a forest, then Tatooine. This is just so wrong. All of these planets, the ones at least I can remember, Mandalore, Mustafar, Coruscant, and Camino, are all in Disney Star Wars. I don't know. It just kind of seems pretty stupid to me. Like these people don't even know what they're talking about anymore. Or at least they're not watching it. Seems pretty dumb to me. Pretty stupid and dumb if you ask me. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. That third one is Darth Vader's birth chamber? What? Darth Vader's birth chamber? What the hell are you talking about? Now I gotta go back and look at it. Birth chamber. Oh my god. Okay. Andor has some cool locations. Yeah, it does. I mean, talk about all the new cool locations. You got the Mandalorian that has a bajillion new planets. The Acolyte just had a bajillion new planets. Ahsoka introduces new planets. The sequel trilogy introduced new planets. Even Kenobi introduced new planets. Andor introduced new planets. They all did, pretty much. Except for maybe the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah. Yeah. People grasping at straws to hate. We've seen so much Tatooine, but that's not even exclusively Disney. Yeah, I mean, obviously. People are really just trying to hate as much as they can. And it's almost impossible at this point to even take them seriously. Yeah, and then you look at like Peridia. They introduced a whole brand new universe. They didn't like that. Yeah, I know. Which is worse? Somehow Palpatine returned, or they fly now? Somehow Palpatine returned. Yeah. The gravel pit fight location in Kenobi wasn't cool or exotic, to be honest. No, it wasn't. A lot of people wanted that to happen on Mustafar again, but that wouldn't really make sense. Why would Obi-Wan Kenobi go back to Mustafar? But I agree that there could have been a better location to do that fight. Yeah. Indeed. Brady says, honestly, my favorite movie in the sequels is The Rise of Skywalker because of the story behind it. Really. Mine's The Force Awakens, and it's like not really even close. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away would seem to suggest that there are more than one galaxy. Well, yeah, there is more than one galaxy, and clearly that's made completely evident in the Ahsoka show. But, I mean, we're finally going to a new galaxy, which is absolutely crazy. We've never seen anything like that before. And you can't tell me that Baylan Skoll talking about the void and how you don't want to be inside the void is clearly not setting up something or someone getting lost inside the void. Maybe they, like, throw Abeloth into the void to stop her or something like that. You know? Yeah, I know. There was one more thing I wanted to get to, I think. Oh, yeah. So, this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con, they're going to be announcing this new run of Star Wars comics. And the Star Wars comics are going to take place in the Mandoverse time period, right after Return of the Jedi. And it's going to be about the Battle of Jakku. And what's really cool about this is that they there's going to be an Inquisitor that's going to fight Luke Skywalker in these comics. So even if you're not big into comics, this is pretty damn cool. In the aftermath after the original trilogy, a new member of the Jedi hunting Inquisitors will rise to challenge Luke Skywalker. So this is the next coming issue of Star Wars comics, the Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising. This is, you get the Empire and Luke Skywalker on the cover. But this is what it's going to be about. Immediately preceding the events of A New Hope, the Emperor officially deems the Inquisitorius as a obsolete organization. So we see the Inquisitors during the time before the original trilogy fighting and killing all the Jedi that are around the galaxy. However, during the original trilogy, they're not there. So they've been shut down. They've been shut down completely. But this is actually not the case. Okay. Insurgency Rising will introduce a new Inquisitor who will face off against Luke Skywalker when the forces of the New Republic arrive at Jakku. So this is a sort of Force user / lightsaber wielder that will actually stand toe-to-toe with Luke Skywalker because he can pretty much just destroy anybody in the current Empire. Now, who this is going to be could be fairly interesting. Could they play on the Mara Jade type arc with this Inquisitor? Or could it be something else? I'm actually really excited for this because it could somehow tie to that Mara Jade character, or maybe even be a new version, canon version of Mara Jade. I'd be fully down for that, but I guess we'll have to wait and see for this one. When does this come out? Does it say here? 2024. Doesn't say when. Well, that's lame. Okay. We'll just keep that in the back of our heads. Watch out for that comic when it drops. See if there's anything crazy going on in it. We shall see. Luke versus an Inquisitor. So excited. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Marok. I don't think so. I don't think Marok was really an Inquisitor. Obviously he was, but I don't think he really was. I think he was still brought back to life. He turns into smoke at the end when he dies. So I think he was brought back to life in some sort of way. Yeah, Mara Jade would be a Marok Jade. Now we're talking. Marok Jade. All right, with that, I'm going to get on out of here. You guys are the absolute best. A little bit slow for a news day, but that's perfectly fine. As San Diego Comic-Con's this weekend, so we'll probably get some news from that. And then moving forward, we're going to hit D23 very, very soon in just a few weeks. So we'll probably be getting a Skeleton Crew trailer and some announcements for some other Star Wars shows, which will keep us quite busy for the month of August as we come up to Star Wars Outlaws and then do some playthroughs of that. So smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not yet. 69 likes. Nice. Smash a like on the stream if you have not yet. Hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. I'll show up in the recommended feed of yours. Huge shout outs to Chris. Chris and Patrick with the very generous super chats. I appreciate that quite a bit. And all the members out there, I appreciate all you guys. There's a giveaway coming next week on Tuesday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So watch out for that. And then, watch for a video tomorrow. And I believe that's all. Hopefully Skeleton Crew's great. Hopefully the trailer's going to get us hyped up. But until then, we'll have to wait and see. Smash a freaking like, subscribe, blah-biddy bloobity blah. May the Force be with you. Always. Oh yeah, what a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate every last one of you more than you will ever know. Keep the conversation going in that Discord. The link to that Discord is in the description below. And yeah. Watch out for a video tomorrow. Watch out for a video the next day. Stream the next day and a video the next day for the rest of your lives. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, a great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody.